Morning and welcome to Thoughts and Updates here on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to all those who in some way or other celebrate it. As you will see, as from across the way, we've had snow and it's been treacherous driving conditions for people round about. And in some cases, particularly at work, we've had trouble getting people in and out of the houses to work with children and young people who we are responsible for supporting. So it's been a difficult week in many ways, but there again, it is Scotland, it is February, and in comparison to some places like Finland, like Iceland, like Canada, we have a smattering of snow and we need to just get on with it, and we do tend to try and do that. One of the great things, of course, in Scotland is that they ran a competition for all the gritters that go out and put grit on the roads in order to help the cars and the lorries and the trucks and the vans all get to their destinations. And there are some fantastic names out there that are used because they came from kids and they came from a variety of other people. And it brings a little bit of cheer. Apparently now, because of lockdown, a lot of people follow these gritters online to see where they're going in order to clear the roads. There must be some kind of satellite system that is used in Scotland as well. So we also use cameras around the major routes, which is great. If you're going anywhere, you can have a look at the cameras on Traffic Scotland and see what it looks like where you're going to go before you start your travel. So public service broadcast done this week. In terms of writing, it's been quite an interesting week. Back on doing some reviewing, I watched a couple of things which I thought were very, very good. One as part of Space Online, Ali Sloper's Half Holiday, a very old-fashioned Blue Fire Theatre Company pick up these people who are from the past, and we're talking very much from the past. Mary Lloyd is one of the characters that they brought back to life, and do it in a way that will appeal to those of us of a certain generation. And I think it's a tremendous little 9 minutes worth. Also watched an hour and so on of the Grunswick strike by Townsend Productions called We Are the Lions, Mr. Manager. I did enjoy it, did find it really good. Filmed down in London at a live performance. It was on the Cat Strand website. Cat Strand's a village venue in Dumfries, the heart of Dumfries and Galloway and Glenkelns. The forest down there is all round about you, and it's a brilliant little venue. Lorna and I went to see Iron there, which we thought was good. But the venue was just a stunning wee place, and hopefully at the end of all this, and because of the way in which they have continued to operate by offering online performances, it's going to be one of the theatres that survive. Certainly deserves to. So back on that for Ringside Report, I've been looking at Leon Spinks, the man who beat Muhammad Ali in a World Championship fight and then lost it after losing his way. He was apparently brought out his reverie with an hour to go before the rematch in Las Vegas. An interesting tale to be told, and also in terms of politics, my Yard vision is all about what's going on in terms of the Trump impeachment, which led to him being acquitted. More of that later. For Talking Boys, fast forward, future history was, of course, last night's fight with Warrington. The week before, there was nothing really in terms of what people would read about, apart from cards all over the world with honest, dedicated fighters trying to earn a living, but no world titles, nothing of particular note. But last night, by heavens, Josh Warrington being knocked out in the 9th round throws the cat amongst the pigeons. There's a guy who looked too far forward. For the Scottish Football Supporters Association this week, a lot of controversy in Scottish football, come back to that in a minute as well, and that is about how both Stephen Gerrard and Jim Goodwin have come out and asked for changes to be made. For Jim Goodwin, it's to name and shame divers who are all over the Scottish game, and for Stevie Gerrard, it's why are we having people re-looking at games? Why are the referees not trusted to make the decisions? If they make a mistake, they make a mistake. And then my scurrilous piece is all about Mr. Goodwin being in charge of the Fergus Lee Park swimming team. There's a couple that have come out this week, which I will put out on Facebook and elsewhere, which are to do with last week's, and including Mr. Martindale's, who ordered the boiled rice scenario. So, a couple of things very briefly this week. First of all, it's the Trump impeachment. How can you have a trial with politics involved? It is an absolute farce. In many ways, it's a farce. The fact that he was impeached in the first place suggests a legal formula which is being applied, and on this occasion it was not applied, except insofar that in the vast majority of the case, party lines were adhered to. I cannot think of a process that is fair within any kind of parliamentary body and is likely to come out with the right outcome, given the need for 12 good men or women and true in a jury. Now, or 12 good men, good people rather, and true in a jury, rather than being gender specific. The issue, I think, for many people abroad is kind of, this is a big thing. This is a massive thing, the idea of impeaching a president, and to do it in a manner that appears so candid is quite difficult to contemplate. The fact that it was done at all was clearly important, but I wonder if there was ever a thought as to what the implications of doing it at all in foreign media might be. I can imagine China and others looking on and going, what are they having a go at us for? Secondly, the Scottish Football Association and how the turmoil that should be dealt with. I have written this morning about how I was involved in some issues with the compliance officers in the past, and it was not comforting to see the way it was done. It was pointing fingers at volunteers and trying to make them appear guilty, in my view. And it was just not good. And having gone through the system expecting some kind of fairness, I think I probably would have preferred being in front of an impeachment trial, if I'm going to be fair. And lastly, which I've not mentioned thus far, is turmoil as well, which seems to be the theme for the week, in acting and theatre. Equity have come out and have said about the abuse that has been sent the way of the General Secretary because of the Scottish decision and the Northern Irish decision to remove Lorne Boswell as the full-time organiser through redundancy. Now, a lot of people were very, very angry, and they still are very, very angry, and I don't think that this is going to go away from Equity. They are rich in many ways, and to remove a guy who has been an exceptional servant for so long without attempting in some way to find a way forward to retain his knowledge and his expertise, I think is astonishingly dreadful. But the abuse that they are suffering from people who are sending appalling and terrible messages should cease. Of course it should. And any right-minding person is not going to defend that type of behaviour. It does suggest that there are people out there who are exceptionally angry, and perhaps Equity need to deal with that as much as they need to deal with the fact that they're being abused. Then the other part of the turmoil is Sia Omooba, the actress who was given the role in Colour Purple. And then a tweet from 5 years ago came out talking about how she didn't believe that people were born gay, that it was a lifestyle choice and it was wrong because she comes from a particular form of Christianity, her and her preacher father. It's now at the tribunal, and a number of things have come out which have been startling, absolutely startling. One, she didn't know that Celia was gay. She had appeared in a concert performance but had not seen all of it, so therefore didn't realise she was gay. This is an iconic gay character. And in my blog, Fifth Fringe Review, I have wondered just exactly why we are employing actors with such terrible research skills. Come on. Second thing is that she has been offered her entire contract and payment, though she is looking for over a six-figure sum, over £100,000 in compensation. It looks unlikely that she's going to get that. And some of the startling revelations this week have included the fact that people who were agents for the agency that represented her had suggested that they were going to resign if they continued to represent Omooba. And I can understand their feelings over that. I don't believe that somebody's views should necessarily mean that people don't work with them. I don't find that particularly a defendable point of view. But what I do think is that the backlash that was going to come from her appearance in this, once her views were known and once she was let loose in the media, then the theatres and others were going to suffer a problem. And that was they were going to lose revenue, they were going to be boycotted, they were going to be slated in the press, they were going to find themselves at the crucible of an intense scrutiny from which they might not have survived. And that was because an actress kept her mouth shut. She did not inform people that she had a "I won't play a gay role" clause. She did not inform people that this was a deal breaker. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, that her agents knew this. So they are also similarly culpable. And when it comes to the decision, that opens up the possibility that she might get compensation, because if her agents knew and they did not inform the companies that they were attempting to get her to work in, then they bleeding well knew that Colour Purple involved a very strong gay character who was an iconic character for the gay community. And to put her up for that, fully in that knowledge, does not appear to be the right thing, the morally correct thing to do. Now, there's no jury trial here. There is going to be a summary judgment, I believe, from the chair in charge of the tribunal, and we look forward to that with interest. Of course, I've not talked about the sexual misconduct report from the Scottish Football Association. There's been plenty of stuff on that out there, and I'm sure at some point I will get to that. But for now, in snowy Scotland, where we're looking forward to more snow, be lovely, and hopefully more gritters out to make things safe. Until then, bye for now.